Holy moly oly. What's going on, everybody?
Oh,
This is crazy. We don't usually get very many motorcycle chases in LA unless it's dark at night. Now here we are getting one right now as it happens. Good to see everybody. Make sure share this out because no one's going to get a notification. It's already been live so many times. Probably not. I wouldn't think so. Maybe anything's possible. Yeah, we're hauling ass, both cheeks, kids. Look at everybody. Please do us a favor. Share this out if you can.
hey, copy that, Sandra. I'm ready.
Sanchez, dirty. Bringing Dirty Sanchez in for commentary. I look forward to that. By the way, you're going to hear my dog bark because I'd ordered me some dinner and it was stolen by the DoorDasher, which is just my luck. And they had to replace my order, send it again. And now I'm waiting for it to finally get here. Finally. If they can find my house. Good to see you, Jim. Jim, how are you doing, buddy? Yeah,
Y estamos volando sobre el área de Boyle Heights, donde la patrulla de caminos de California, junto con el departamento del alguacil del condado de
you
Los
see if
Ángeles,
they
está
utilize
persiguiendo
those
a
dirt
dos
bikes. See if they
motociclistas.
go off
Esta
road
es una
any.
persecución que empezó aproximadamente
Welcome
hace
to our
unos
newest
10
member,
minutos en la autopista
the
número
Terminator.
710 sur,
Hope that
cerca
woke you up,
del
kids.
área del este de Los Ángeles.
Good to
Ahí
see
fue
you, Brandy.
donde la patrulla de caminos de California trató de parar a
But
estos
California.
dos
I understood
motociclistas,
that
pero al
part.
momento se
California.
desconoce exactamente por qué. Pero lo que puede ver es que los dos son dos jóvenes,
These
dos hombres.
these
Sin
bikes can go a
casco, que
little
están tratando
different
de evadir
places
a la
than
policía.
a regular motorcycle.
Hubo un
So
tiempo cuando estaban hasta yendo en sentido
thank you,
contrario
Terminator, for
en la
becoming a
autopista
member.
710 y también en la autopista 5,
Much
antes de
appreciated.
salirse de la autopista y continuar en las calles del este de Los Ángeles,
We're
incluyendo
slowing
la
down a
calle
little bit. Don't
Norcross
tell me this is
y
gonna be
la
over
calle
already.
Eastern. Como pueden ver, hay una patrulla muy cerca tratando
Nah, they just
de
playing.
parar a estos dos motociclistas, pero claro,
Never
cuando
forget the
el
chase
resto
we
lo
did
están
live with
tratando de, como no podrán
motorcycles, and
evadir
the
a los
guy
oficiales
went
y
flying
al momento se desconoce, como
and
les digo, exactamente
perished,
por qué
lost his
la
life.
policía está tratando de parar a
But
estos
not
dos
Cooper.
conductores.
No, not Cooper. Good to see you. Get your bets in now.
Y continuando aquí en un área
Good to see you, Joe.
comercial
How do you think this is
en
going to
Boyle
end?
Heights, les repito, una persecución
Oh,
continúa.
you know where he's at. He's on the main channel, gambling. Gambling's the main channel now. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Okay.
Thank you, Cooper. Again, I need to give you a hallelujah. Many thanks.
Yeah, I got you, NBC. Go ahead.
Looks like are we looking for somewhere to hide? I mean, I could see that happening maybe. And if I miss anyone's comment, I do apologize. Over and out. You can hear the sirens coming your way. Get outside, quick. Oh, we're on the sidewalk. Look at this. I mean, this is again, having a motorcycle like this is giving them kind of an advantage. I would think so. Very dangerous.
Copy.
One bad move. We're not going to bump a car and keep on going. That's for sure. Hold on, guys. Let me grab my food real quick.
Jonathan, this is a new one for me. I'm used to one, but not two. And that's exactly what we have here this afternoon, making its way here through the East LA area. These two young men on what appear to be their bikes, no helmet, are evading the CHP as well as the LA County Sheriff's Department. It's a pursuit that we first heard about on the 710 freeway near the 60. They were going the wrong way, using the right shoulder to get by some slower moving traffic. Eventually, they transitioned to the 5 freeway before reversing course and heading northbound on the 5, where they exited at Eastern, and they've been on surface streets ever since. Just a moment ago, there was a unit directly behind them. I don't see the unit right now, but the airstrip is still overhead, so they're at least in what's called the surveillance mode. So helicopter only on this one for now. There's been a number of close calls, though. They've been in and out of traffic. They've been
I'm
dodging
back.
patrol units incredibly, but the pursuit continues.
I tried to run.
On Washington
It didn't
Boulevard
work out
in
well.
Santa Fe in East LA.
Good to see they're still running. 230. Good to see everybody. Good to see you.
Yeah, they don't see any units directly behind them, so that's exactly.
That's why they're kind of casual.
Was for them to start driving a little bit more normally if they didn't see any units right on their tail. So the surveillance mode appears to be working. They have slowed their speeds down significantly.
Will they start popping willies?
A number of close calls. And early on in this pursuit, right before we were overhead, we did hear that they had actually tried to pit a unit, to pit another motorcycle unit that was chasing them. I did.
So it was bike on bike action.
Said that they were fine. They were code 4.
Love it.
Was good. But clearly, it's been a dangerous one, and these guys aren't going to get away with it because, of course, they did try to.
I'm so far behind. I'm sorry, guys. What's up, Robbie Rub? Brad, how are you? He's making monies.
Absolutely, and that's what's making it so hard to catch up with.
I know it's so rare, right?
Even though they had a unit right behind them.
Well, it's my dinner.
So much that unit can do.
And it is a meatball sandwich. Meatball sandwich.
Possibly hurt them. So pit maneuver out of the question. No spike strip. So unless these guys fall off their bike or decide to just bring things to a stop, it's really difficult for the officers to
this is gonna
these guys into custody. But they are transitioning now onto the freeway, so they're back on the 10. I really wish, in a way, that they would stay on the surface streets, because at least when they were on surface streets,
that's right,
they weren't going wrong way. But we know when they were on the freeway, they were going the
Good
wrong
to
way.
see you, Courtroom
really
Cat. How are you?
Danger level on
Glad you're here. Everybody, do me a huge favor. Hit the like while we try to keep up with these guys and cover what we can of this. Hopefully we'll get taken down.
Yeah, exactly. So airship only on this one, and we're approaching the East LA area.
Eventually, maybe
is where
they'll
several
get it
of our
figured out.
freeways come together. So they have a couple of options here. It's unclear if the officers were able to get the license plates.
I don't have money to spend like that, so.
Again, they are some sort of dirt.
Oh, see, Firehouse Subs is great.
What the original want was, but of course, failure to yield is always going to.
I don't have gambling's monies.
Because that's pretty much just they refuse.
I'll be in the poll house if I did that. Keith, good to see you.
At least for reckless driving as well.
Yeah, but they got to stop these guys, because these aren't street bikes, right? These are just like dirt bikes. They don't have tags on them. So it's not like, oh, we got their license plate number, we'll go to their house.
Where the 10, the 5, and the 60, and the 101 all come together. So we'll see which freeway they pick. I really won't know until they complete the transition.
General, good to see you.
It's actually the busiest interchange in the world. To give you
the busiest quizás, pero sí, parece interchange que es la in the world.
Quiero ver exactamente, ustedes tienen ahí en la parte superior de su pantalla la ubicación exacta. Está entrando a la autopista 10 hacia el este, 10 hacia el este, y bueno, a esta hora, Dayana, hay muchos vehículos.
¿No? Están esquivando los vehículos que se encuentran a su...
Let me turn this down just a little bit. All right, let's go with this.
So
Jim Pollard.
We were wondering what the want was. He was able to find out from the police ship that it is, in fact, failure to yield, as we thought. And then, of course, also for
West Tennessee. Good to see you, Ronnie.
So, now wanted for, I would only assume that would be considered assault with a deadly weapon on a peace officer for that attempted pit. As well
it might be by now.
Failure to yield.
I kind of don't even understand that. So you're saying that they
Yeah.
tried
That
to pit a CHP officer or motorcycle officer?
I don't think there'd be any tags
Exactly.
anyway
As
to keep up with them.
incredible as that is to try to comprehend why someone could possibly try to do something so
Janet.
dumb, but apparently they had a motor unit that was following them, because really a motor unit's kind of the only one that's going to be able to keep up with them at this point.
Amy, thank you
But
so
they
much
did
for
have a
becoming a
motor
member
unit
over here on
behind them,
YouTube. If you're
and
on
somehow, I don't know if it was one
watching
guy or
over on the
both,
Facebook, think
attempted
about
to
coming on and
hit
join
that
us over here
officer.
on
And
the
I did
YouTubes,
hear on the scanner the
so you don't miss
dispatcher was
anything.
asking to make sure that the officer was okay.
Bless you,
And
Amy.
again,
Bless
fortunately,
you.
he said he was fine. But I mean, they're still going to get in trouble for that one. It's still going to be considered assault with a deadly weapon.
Hey,
out of
sweet
these
T made it.
I was going to
Good to
say,
see
when
ya.
we see pursuits and the driver tries to get away and comes at the officers.
Ooh,
we're
and they don't
always
have
thinking,
helmets on either.
That's
That's
the
so
worst thing you can
scary.
do, because that is assault. So
Well, he's on the phone.
yeah.
He's probably talking to
And
somebody about
Eliana, we're watching your
the
shot
chase.
here, and yeah, he's clearly on the phone now. He appears to be on speakerphone. I've also seen them look up into the sky, either at your chopper, assuming maybe, you know, you're the authorities, or just maybe looking out to see if that CHP or the sheriff's chopper's overhead. Where are we now?
So we're still in the Boyle Heights area.
Thank you,
so
Amy,
right
for
at
becoming a member.
The split
We
between the 5
love
and the
our
60.
members.
I think
Members
they did
only
make
tomorrow
that transition,
on
I
the main
believe, to
channel,
the
Credence
60
and Mikey.
east. So yeah, so they're
Make sure you're
continuing
there for
eastbound
that.
here on the
All the fun and
60 at
hijinks.
Lorena. And
That's great. I said
I'm
hijinks.
just trying to hear what the CHP is planning to do on this one, because again, airship only. They do have the LA County Sheriff's airship overhead, and I did see the CHP airship when we were arriving as well.
There we
that
go.
was a CHP unit that just passed by.
Oh,
so we'll
shit.
see if they try to get
Things are
behind these
coming
cars
up.
again. It seems like when they're not behind them, they tend to slow down a little bit, drive a little bit better. So we'll see how much the CHP can do on this one with their inability to weave in and out of traffic the way that these two motorcyclists can.
Yeah, we saw a great example of that just now. The officer, the CHP officer, got right behind them, but then no, they're able to maneuver and now take off.
Yeah, we need to get the other bike cops out here.
The officer that we saw, he says he can't chase them. He says there's too much traffic. I need to cancel. So we won't.
Wow, too much traffic.
Behind these
too
guys.
much traffic.
And in a way, I think it might be for
they're gonna get away.
because when those units are directly behind them, we have seen them drive.
Where are the motorcycle cops? I've seen
They're
chips
just so
before.
brazen about it, so nonchalant as they drive along the freeway here. We want to remind our viewers this chase started just before 4 o'clock at 3:53 near 4th in Indiana. A failure to yield to authorities, and now potentially also wanted for assault on a deadly weapon. As Eliana was explaining to us, at one point, one of these gentlemen, at least one, tried to pit a motor officer with the CHP, which puzzles.
That would have been great to see, right?
Do that, but
we never see that
every day. That is considered typically assault on a peace officer, so they're facing multiple charges at this point.
Guys, I would
and
catch up
Eliana,
with
I just
everybody
go back
just
to the
a
dynamic.
second.
You're right. We see that CHP cruiser there, feet away from them, helpless because he's in a car and they're on motorcycles weaving in and out of
so
traffic.
crazy,
We have
guys.
free reign at this point, and you said there is
Get the motorcycle
a
cops
overhead.
here.
Yeah, so there's a chopper overhead, the sheriff's department. And
I mean, that's what they're
the
for,
CHP
right?
Airship earlier as well. I believe they both might still be here, but they're continuing.
Just like J
eastbound
Metal.
on the 60, coming up at
Checking
the
in.
710. And yeah, sure enough, I do hear
Good to
the
see my friend.
airship talking
Good to
on
see
the
you.
radio. So they are still overhead, and all they can really do
That's
is
right.
distract these
Remember
guys
that,
above,
kids.
because even if you've
Remember
got
it.
a motor
And I'll
unit
remember.
behind them, and the motor unit is in that traffic the way they're
Look at
doing,
there.
but that would just
It's a big
endanger the life
red.
of the officer as well, knowing that these guys
Look at that.
tried
It
to
works
hit
even
another
when Creed's
officer
not here.
earlier on, and knowing that they
Let me get it
will
right
very
for
well
you.
go the wrong way on the freeway if they need
50
to. It would just
biggins
endanger the officers a little bit
from
too
the
much. So for
original.
now, airship only on this one.
Yeah,
The
you're
legendary
usually telling us about how they hand
Rainbow
off
Rabbit Hole.
area to area to join the chase, but like this is not going to happen right now because we saw how.
Thank you for the big red.
Is. Again, chasing them on a motorcycle sounds simply dangerous.
Thank
There's
you.
another officer right there. Let's see what happens.
I'm going to go ahead and take care of the boss too. Boss.
Yeah, so there's a CHP unit.
Look, we got a chance.
Picking up a little speed.
Damn it, we got a chance. We're right there. Thank you guys so much, man.
So now they're in the center.
You guys pay
there.
the
That's
bills
not a
around
lane.
here.
That's where you'd be if you broke down, flat
All
tire,
right.
car disabled, and that always really worries me when they do stuff like this, because of course if you're there disabled, you're completely helpless. And these guys come
super dangerous, not just for the people on the motorcycles, but for
about 40 miles an hour, which will still
everybody
do
on the
quite
road.
some damage. And there's two of them. But two young men here on what appear to be some sort of dirt bike.
Two
no
young
helmet.
men.
That absolutely concerns me. This guy in the front.
I can't believe
appears
he's
to be
texting and
a little bit
driving.
older of the two. He's still on his phone
My
talking
God.
to who knows who, but continuing to try to evade the police here eastbound on the 60.
I think that's the thing I'm wondering about, Kathy, is like, what is
They're
the
going to
plan?
end up getting away. I'm telling you
clearly
guys.
happen to have a plan.
They're going to
about
let
where
these
they're
guys
going.
go.
They kind of just seem to
It's
be
gonna
going where
happen.
the road takes them. And he's texting the whole time. You got to wonder if he's trying to get in touch with a family member, someone of that sort.
Yeah, I'm sure he's
someone
on the
they can
phone
go
with his
potentially
attorney
hide out
right
and ditch
now.
the bikes.
Or get a car.
Or that.
The car's going to hit
it
him.
Very well, it's possible that they're just trying to get in communication with someone that could possibly stop somewhere and give them a ride. We have seen that happen in pursuits where people.
Hey,
coordinate
can you
with,
pick me up at the
a
Scotchman
friend and
on
the friend will
21?
come and pick them up. One time, I covered a pursuit where the guy was in a car. And he coordinated with a friend to set up a running motorcycle for him. And this was in the North Hollywood area. Set up a
Now
running
that sounds
motorcycle for
amazing.
him. The guy ditches his car, jumps on the bike, and off he went. And he was never caught. So it's happened before, and it'd be interesting to see what happens on this one.
All right, let's see what they're
It's
going to do
happened once,
right
it may
now.
happen again.
Every time they've been in the far lane, the CHP has been able to come up and, I'm thinking
Also,
maybe the plan
thank you
is
to Gary.
be able to get behind them.
Gary.
But I don't know. Making a left-hand turn right there in traffic.
One of them's going into oncoming traffic.
Wrong way.
Again.
Wow. This is concerning.
That guy's going to be a hood ornament in a minute.
Bike. He's the wrong way. So that is very dangerous.
Another
and now
officer?
his friend's going to go
Now
wrong
it's
way
both of
too.
them.
Oh, wow.
Oh gosh.
Oh, why not?
They just want they just want an accident to happen at this point. That is
It's just
wild. Some of these antics that we're seeing. They're turning
call this a
around on the
clincher,
freeway now,
guys.
continuing back now westbound.
Butt
60.
clincher.
Okay, so obviously that was somewhat of a plan that they had to do that, or they're following
Yes, they
one
meant to
another.
do that the whole
Leads
time.
me to believe that maybe they are going to try to, hook up with someone, like have a car, have a place to go. But otherwise, it's just
I believe it. I believe it. I don't doubt it.
Very dangerous.
I do not doubt it at all.
Absolutely, very dangerous.
Who's
And I'm so
handsome?
concerned
How
because
are
they're
you,
not
my
wearing
friend?
a helmet. Even if you're wearing a helmet and you're involved in a motorcycle accident or even a cycling accident without a helmet.
I was thinking,
you
where
can be
are they at?
very,
Where's Punch? Where's
injured.
John?
So the fact that they're driving at these speeds, about 50 miles an hour with no helmet on some sort of dirt bike, I just really hope they would just pull over, quite frankly. Because,
Why not go
I
off
have a
road?
feeling the
Get
outcome,
off road.
could be worse for them than really
Oh,
anybody
hell,
else
here they
on
come.
the road.
Oh, this is not
Officer
good.
right there behind him.
Hit the
And
light,
he's just gonna
guys. Let's
trail
get
them.
these guys.
There's really nothing he can
Maybe if
do.
we
He
enough
can't
likes, they'll give
try to
up.
block them. They might fall. He can't pit them. They'll get hurt.
We'll
they
go with
can't
that.
spike them. So
Good to
all
see
they
you,
can
cheerful.
really do is just try to intimidate them and try to get them to.
Man, I can only. What are we
pull
doing?
over, but,
How
clearly
fast
they
can
had
these
plenty of
bikes go,
opportunity,
guys?
And they continue to try to avoid the police. Now transitioning southbound 710.
And they speed up anytime they see
How
a
fast
car
can these
behind them.
things go? Because they look like they were going pretty damn
Absolutely.
fast.
It's a cat and mouse situation. Southbound on the
Cat and
710.
mouse. Cat and
The
mouse.
rider in the blue is in the lead. It's always very busy here at this transition from the 60 to the 710. So that's why we're seeing this.
Do a
traffic,
pit, yeah. See,
especially on a Thursday afternoon.
we get another motorcycle and
any
we do it a
southbound
pit.
drive that they pick
Just
is
saying.
going
What's
to work like
up,
this
Mario?
right now.
How you doing,
Unless, They
friend?
make their way all the way to Santa Fe Springs.
Doing well, friendo?
That's where the freeway does open up a little bit, but any southbound drive that they pick
Trisha,
in this
how
general
are you?
area is going to be very busy.
What makes me nervous is we've already seen they are willing to take chances. They are willing to go the wrong way.
Just keep licking.
And to do some dangerous
We'll get
maneuvers.
somewhere.
And I think of the other drivers who don't know what's coming at them.
They never see them coming, especially when they're splitting lanes. It takes just one driver to make the wrong move or at the worst time, and these motorcyclists are
Next
out.
thing you know,
I
they're
think about what you said
splattered
earlier,
all
Ariana.
over everything.
It's true. Of all the
Good to
chases where
see you
they
tonight.
get away,
How are you?
Look at that.
How you been?
so dangerous, so reckless up against that wall. More often than not, it's motorcyclists who tend to get away in these chases, and it's so frustrating to watch these two just be so brazen about it. And almost like you said, joyride.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they can go very
And
fast.
they look very young as well, so they may just not be thinking this one's to the end of what the possible outcomes could be of what they're doing. It's one thing to just run away from the police, but the fact that they're also wanted for
Imagine somebody just
attempting to
opens their
actually
car
pull a gun
door.
on that motor
Boom.
officer, I don't know that they even understand the trouble that they've gotten themselves into. The best thing they could really do is just pull over before they're able to add additional charges, because every time they're running a red light, every time they're on the wrong side of the road, all of that gets added up. The officer who's in charge of writing the report at the end of his shift will add on every
that's something you see a lot in,
every
like,
single
Florida.
violation, and all of that gets
Some other
added
states
to
where
their
they'll do the
charges.
box in.
So really the best thing they could do at this point is
Not
pull
so
over,
much
but
in
they're obviously
California.
not going to listen to
Typically
me
don't
if they're
see
not
that.
listening to the police. But continuing here,
Oh,
right at
traffic's
the
getting
interchange of the 5
getting
and
thick.
the 710. I think they completed the transition of the southbound 5. Yep, southbound 5 now on the Santa Ana freeway.
Well, they'd be smart to listen to you, Eliana, but clearly that's not the case here. This is a strange thing I'm going to bring up here, but could the CHP shut down the freeway ahead of this ahead, or is it just too risky to get?
They'll never do that,
considering they'd already tried that pit on a motor.
Creed is with the slots.
Yeah, let me answer your question
He's
after
jackpot.
I correct myself, Jonathan.
He's in
they
jackpot
completed
mode
the transition, but it continued on to the 710 South. So they're on the 710 South.
He's fighting the
But to answer your
one-armed
question,
bandit
yes.
demon.
And when we first heard about this pursuit, I actually did hear CHP asking for additional units to come to the scene and block off the freeway.
We may have to
up
put
ahead.
Creed in
But
Gamblers
the
Anonymous.
motorcycles never got that far. And even if they had, they were driving the wrong way at the time. They were driving southbound on the northbound lanes of the 5 freeway. So there's really going to be little that the CHP can do. Even if when blocking the freeway,
they picked up several new charges since it started, but I mean, this all started from them not stopping because the police were trying to stop them. Probably because they're not supposed to have those on the road in the first place, I would imagine.
And they have 2 times already when they were on the 710 freeway and when they were on the
These
5,
could be young girls, young guys, young girls and guys.
Driving the wrong way. So it was a little confusing as we were approaching the scene because we were hearing the CHP say that they were
everybody. There's 500. Go ahead and hit the like.
On the opposite side of the freeway.
Let's hang out. If you're new here, subscribe.
The pursuit continues southbound on the 710, approaching Washington Boulevard. They've gotten off here before, so let's see if they do it again.
Yeah, I was curious if they were making a move
Splat
now
fee.
to change the direction or to get
from
off
the
or to do
OG Wrench
something.
herself, Lambo Red. Thank you
like that in a way, but
for your
we'll have to wait and
patronage,
see what happens as we
your
continue
love.
to follow these two.
We
Right now,
appreciate it.
CHP really doesn't have many options besides what we were talking about, closing down the freeway. Can't do a pit maneuver. And
What about a giant net? Can we drop a giant net from above?
Cruisers behind
like,
them. At least they haven't.
They used to stop James Bond all the time
with them because they can change lanes at a moment's notice. They've even gone the wrong direction at times.
And we're now 40 minutes into this chase. The best option right now for officers is chasing this like we are from the air. Eliana mentioned we have a sheriff's crew, a chopper overhead. CHP has their air units overhead.
I mean, I'm sure they have been funded, but come on, guys.
Two of them on bikes wanted for
let's get some biked officers in there.
Assault with a deadly weapon on.
Oh, look at this!
They do.
Look at this! I'm digging.
Somewhat. They really
from Lambo the Gifter.
They haven't. So that leads me to believe that this is
much appreciated.
Their neighborhood, an area that they're familiar with, because really the furthest we got was about Commerce before they turned around and went back towards East Los Angeles, and they've been on the same freeways, the 710.
Thank you for everybody joining us now.
Really haven't jumped on
have a seat, sit on down.
So that leads me to believe they're very familiar with
no telling how this is going to end.
Area, and are probably just trying to figure out when is the right time to try to ditch these bikes. Likely at their home or a friend's house or even a parking structure, the very popular parking structure that we typically see
in crayons,
where people think that that's the best way to ditch the vehicle and take off running. But if these bikes have any sort of a registration license plate, then police would be able to trace it back to these guys. But they appear to be some sort of dirt bikes, so they may not have any sort of registration at all.
Yeah, that's what I've said.
Between themselves
there's no way.
And the CHP, it's not going to work because, as you said, the sheriff's department.
These guys are going to get away.
So they are following them just like we are.
That's right, Melanie.
Yeah, they actually have 2 helicopters.
Melody, we got to
chase.
chase.
The sheriff's department
come on in.
Lose them. The CHP airship is here as well. So they've got 2 sets of eyes on these guys. They've got the media overhead as well. So it's going to be a little bit difficult for them to get away.
Like it's Mario Kart, just thrown out the window.
That would actually be,
I like that idea, group.
Trying to get away from the police. That might actually be the
maybe an oil slick
for them to do that. But they've stuck with each other the entire time. One man, in the
I've
white bike
often
there, he
said
does
that
appear
she
to
is
be the
my
older of
favorite
the two. He's the
ranch.
one that was on the phone. It does appear like he's kind of running the show a little bit, and his buddy there in the blue is just trailing behind him, because we really haven't seen him lead the way for the most part. So continuing though,
So we're
southbound
saying the
710
guy
coming
in
up
the
to
white bike
Florence.
is the
This is
ringleader.
actually further south than
We've
gone.
identified him as
So
the
we'll see if
alpha.
they decide to get off the freeway and go back north.
Nice.
It's fascinating to watch them communicate in real time while the one on the white bike is also, texting or talking on the phone at times. The other option too, Eliana,
Maybe
I
he's
mean, the
got a
possibility they
reservation
run
at a
out of
really nice
gas at any
restaurant. He's
moment.
just trying to let him know he's going to be late.
Wouldn't that be nice, Jonathan? I think that if one of them runs out of gas, I can only imagine that the other one would stick with him. They've stuck with each other the entire time, but that is an excellent
He's not gonna
point.
stick
We
with
don't know
him.
how
Are you
much
kidding
gas
me?
they started off with, and we don't know how long they were riding prior to the pursuit breaking out.
Pass it.
Maybe,
Good to see you back.
Gonna get
Saw you
back on the freeway.
earlier.
It looked like
Good
maybe
to
they were
have
going
you
to try
here.
to get off there at Florence, but they're going to
Hallelujah.
continue southbound on the 710. I want to
Many
get out the
thanks.
shot. I want to see how close the
We have a
nearest
great
unit is,
community.
but
If you'd like to
I
be
don't
part of
see
it,
a
go ahead and
unit
hit the
within
like
at
so you
least
don't
a
miss
quarter
any of our
mile,
live
but
shows.
in a way that's good.
Try to
because
cover every
when there were
chase we
units
can.
behind them, they
And we
do
also
tend
do
to
a
drive little
daily
bit more
chase show.
dangerously.
And the shoulder
We
is so
got
dangerous.
Chase.
It's not
Check
just the
it out.
proximity to the cars like here where it gets really narrow. There's so much debris that builds up there on the side of the freeways.
Yeah.
And with motorcycles, they're just not as forgiving as if
Yeah,
were
they
a
tell you
car.
not even to
I was
put your
thinking about
leaves
that.
on the
You're trying to
street
stay out of that area because you can get
'cause
flat
or your
tires,
grass
and you
will
just stay
grass
out of that
clippings will
area.
take
So I
out
was
a
thinking
bike.
about that if they were to
Maybe we
disable
just
their
need
bikes
some
in
grass
some way.
clippings
But the
dumped
other
on the
thing that
road.
makes me nervous, Ileana, is they get so close to some of these cars. And Jonathan, you were saying it. You don't know what a driver's going to do. They may not see them. They're not
you
well
don't know
protected.
if a driver's going to cut you off. Yeah, you don't know if a driver's going to cut you off. If a driver's just not going to see you. It's
They're
always
driving with a
extra
horseshoe up their
dangerous
ass
when you're
right
on a
now, that's for
motorcycle
sure.
on the freeway. So the danger level really is highest for them than it really is for anybody else.
Jum
But
jum. Spreading some Lambo red
freeway.
love.
The man on the white bike, he was still on his phone there just a second ago, and he is now. He was signaling to his friend some sort of instructions, but hard to say what the game plan is here. But using that right shoulder to get by, this is not a carpool. There's no carpool on the southbound 710. So this is the emergency lane. This is where you'd be if you got a flat. This is where you'd be if you were disabled. So
yeah, there's
really
bound to be
does make it
tons of
dangerous for
garbage
anybody
and
who
everything
may
else
be
over
up
there.
ahead in this lane.
I'm looking at
Hello,
a note
hello.
from
Good
our
to see
assignment desk,
ya.
that a dirt
Tell
bike
Owen I said
fully
hi.
fueled may be able to travel anywhere between 50 and 80 miles, obviously given how fast they're going. But yeah, I mean, that's not a long distance,
No,
certainly
it's
not what a
not.
car can do or maybe a regular motorcycle.
Yeah, that really isn't a lot, all things considered.
Thirsty
And when you
Thursday
think about
extra,
how long we've been
extra.
following this and knowing that it started off maybe about 10 minutes prior to that, they've been riding for quite a while. So we'll start to see indications of them maybe start to run out of gas. If you see them start to shake the bike.
Yes,
they're
Creed is
just trying to
chasing money.
get a little
I'm
more gas in
chasing
there,
these bad
by
guys.
moving it around a bit. So if we see them start to kind of shake around the bike, then that's how we'll know that they're
Nice
probably
well-placed
starting
turtle
to run out of
shell.
gas.
All right, right now we want to bring in CHP Officer Luis Quintero. Luis, are you with us right now?
Yes.
So one of those
Officer,
bikes
thank you
is
so much for
faster
taking
than the
time to
other
talk
one.
with us as we follow this very reckless and dangerous chase here in the East LA and Commerce area. I think right now we're in Southgate. This is tricky to say the least, right? We've seen some CHP cruisers get very close, but obviously, they can't get close enough. These guys are just weaving in and out of traffic. What is the strategy here? Do you just stick with it from the air at this point?
So that's exactly what we're doing right now. First of all, thank you for having me. Our airship is following, our helicopter is following this pursuit. Since it's very difficult for our cruisers on the ground to maneuver through traffic, we are seeing moderate to heavy
And get some gas out of that truck right there.
Makes it even more dangerous.
Pull up next to it.
These motorcycle riders are splitting lanes, using all lanes, the center divider, the right shoulder. So we're if you're going through the area of this East LA Commerce 710.
That's right, smooth.
Yes.
Did you see I put it on now? I was going to change it to slot sounds.
Don't make any abrupt movements.
That's
and
right.
Remain calm. Our officers
Welcome to
are
Mikey
trying
country.
to catch up. We're going to stay behind these vehicles until they either voluntarily
help us out. Come
they
on.
run out of gas or somehow become disabled, and we're hoping
600 of you here across all the platforms.
All over the roadway.
Great to have you here.
Yeah, Officer Quintero, one of the things, two of the things that trouble me the most is that they're willing to go the wrong direction on freeways, and also this trying to do a pit maneuver with a CHP
One of the
officer. Have you
rappers.
heard any more about that?
I'm going to
It
jump
looks like these
and miss somebody's
riders
comments.
are doing everything they can to try to get away from our office.
Where's
we're gonna
the guys on the Harleys that
They-
come up and
they
take
could
these
be
guys out
dangerous,
for
and
them?
at one point, we did see them go wrong way. Our officers are continuously evaluating the situation and assessing the situation. And as of right now, we're going to stay right behind them, and we're going to hope for the best and hope they just voluntarily give up.
Officer, how frustrating is this?
Officer,
to watch
how
in real
frustrating
time,
is
knowing
this
that
right
your
now?
cruisers can't get right behind them. We know you
Is
have
it-
the airships overhead.
Is it this
but still,
frustrating?
this has got to be so
Or
frustrating to watch
bones?
because we were talking about it earlier. They
Or
almost seem to be on a
bones?
joyride.
Like
They almost look like
from the
they're
ball
having
swaller.
fun. I mean, they just don't seem to care.
It's a beautiful dog you got
We
there.
understand they're panicking right now. They don't know where to go. They seem like our officers are staying behind them as much.
Stay
as
behind me.
navigating through this traffic. It's very frustrating. We are going through a state of emergency here in the Los Angeles region, and our officers are working hard trying to stop individuals like these.
These
And
idiots.
They're like reevaluating.
Don't have
again,
enough going
assessing the
on. We got to deal with
situation,
these
but They're
idiots.
going to stay hard. They're going to stay right behind these individuals.
And have you ever seen anything like this? When we heard that we were going to be following here a situation with
Got a lot of new people.
on
That's
two
all
dirt
right.
bikes, that was a new one. And then
Come
like
on
I
in,
said,
sit down. You'll
them
enjoy
trying
it.
to
I
do
promise.
a pit maneuver on an officer.
So situations like this are not
Pit maneuver
not
on
new
a
to the
police
highway
officer
patrol. Just
bike.
recently, we were in pursuit of two trucks at the same time. They
Good to
did
see you,
split
Daniel.
ways, and both individuals were actually apprehended by our officers. So officers are trained for these pursuits, for these incidents, and having our CHP helicopter overhead is going to definitely give us that advantage. We're just advising the public be
come up and
aware
show up.
if you're driving through
Check
the
'em out.
East LA area of City of Commerce. Our officers are out there. We're currently in pursuit, and these guys are
Not so
using
scary,
the
Larry.
entire
How are
roadway.
you?
So just be aware. Don't make any abrupt movements, and just remain calm.
Realistically speaking, officer, could you shut down a freeway ahead of these two gentlemen?
No.
Or is that just not realistic?
It's not
And is it
happening.
risky given that they're coming at officers?
There's multiple tactics that we could use.
I love this guy's
California Highway
voice.
Patrol, we have officers trying to get in position, trying to get ahead, try to outsmart these individuals. So we're
Good luck with
working hard.
that.
We're working very closely. We got multiple officers in there.
We just hit East LA.
Get this completely closed down and see if we can bring this to an end pretty soon here.
All right, we're in Linwood, West
Yeah,
105. What
that blue one looks
charges
like it's for a
would these
child
two
or something.
motorcycle riders be facing at this point?
So they're facing reckless
You're fine, Daniel.
felony evading. They're using the entire roadway. The reasons for the stop
Shadow
was that,
casting is
they were
on
recklessly
point.
driving. They were racing in the streets of the East LA city.
By the way, we
So
make a
there's
lot of
multiple
jokes
charges
and
of
things
this
like that here. We like
morning,
to have a
and
nice
we're
time.
hoping they just completely
But we
give
don't
up.
want
There's
any
nowhere
innocent
to
people
go,
being
really. Our
hurt.
officers and our airship is
If it
staying
ends
right
up with these
behind them
guys
until
hurting
they
themselves,
voluntarily
that's on
give up,
them.
they run out of gas, or
You
hopefully
know, I'd feel bad for
come
their
to the table.
families and whatnot. But
And we're getting more
again,
information from our folks in the newsroom. You
just
know,
remember,
some of the shaking they've been doing could be them trying to determine how much gas they have left. Again, on average,
we'll know when
could
they run
average
out.
maybe 50 to 80 miles on a full tank, given that this is not a car. This is
That's
not a
what he's
regular
doing.
motorcycle. These are dirt bikes, and that's at a disadvantage to them right now. And also,
Somebody's
Kathy,
gonna
if you
pull up
notice,
beside
they're
them
moving
and
slower
start
for a
fueling
good
them up.
moment there as they try to figure out where to go next.
And they're communicating a lot between each other. And we've seen one of
Here
them,
we go
the
again.
one on the white bike, on the phone constantly.
Officer, are these registered like normal motorcycles, given that they're
No.
dirt bikes?
No, these motorcycles do not belong in the highways,
No.
and so that's another charge on top of there. They're not
Who's
wearing
this?
the right equipment.
That's
helmets,
Officer
so there's multiple things that
Luis.
they're violating here. Officers
Luis.
are trying to bring an end to this as safe and as soon as possible.
Maybe.
We don't know exactly what they're going to do.
I don't know what's
and
going
we're
on in
hoping
chat.
for
I don't have time to
good
read
outcome.
everyone,
Well, look
so
at this.
I'm
It
gonna
looks like that one
assume
driver
it's
was
going
motioning
great.
to them
Yeah.
a little bit. So I don't know if that's part of it or he just whoever it is sees them. And
OJ.
There was definitely some motioning there. And that was one of our ideas, officer, is that they might try to get a car or get some help from someone.
Thank you,
because
AJ.
we've seen that before.
That could be a possibility. It seems like they're panicking at this time, and they're just trying to get away. They don't really have a good plan.
I can see that maybe.
Or they don't have anything could happen at this moment. Our officers are going to stay behind them. There's nowhere to go, and you could tell they're starting to feel that pressure. Our helicopters overhead.
The pressure's coming.
At this point, there's nowhere to really go.
Right, yeah.
All right, Officer Quintero, thank you so much for your time. We want to go back up right now to our Eliana Moreno overhead in News Chopper 4. Eliana, we did get some.
That's what I was thinking too, Don. We haven't verified that, but
mentioning that their initial want was reckless
good
driving.
possibility.
Hey there, Jonathan. Yeah, and as Officer Quintero was talking, the two riders made the transition
look at this.
to San 105. And look at this. My pilot, James Pollard, was just pointing these guys out to me. He says it's a group of bikers. That is I'm not going to say joining the pursuit, but perhaps they were just in the area. Let's cross our fingers.
What?
This isn't some sort of
No way.
Effort
This
here
is just
by our two guys
escalated
in the
tenfold.
to blend in with a group of riders, but it just so happened to be, I guess, that there was a group of riders.
Another group of hooligans have arrived.
Imperial Highway, which
wow.
to the
No
105
way. This is
we're
crazy.
near the Wilmington Avenue exit. I'll widen out the shot so we can see how many guys are out here. There's a few guys doing wheelies. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah.
Oh my God.
This is interesting.
Welcome to East LA.
That this is a circumstance that they just happen to fall into a group of other riders. We do know that one guy in the pursuit, the one on the white bike, he was on his phone for an awful long time. So I don't know if he got his friends to come out here with him. If he did, and if they were dumb enough to come out here and join the pursuit, then they're all going to be detained when this pursuit comes to an end. But to make something that was already dangerous even more dangerous,
he called in his boys.
Is beyond me.
This
all right,
is crazy.
We're going to have to wait and see if these
other
riders stick with them and are with them, or if they're just trying to convince them to pull over. But right now, they are sticking with them, and it is
it looks like they're giving like high fives and stuff.
I tell you what, but it looks like maybe they're not going to stick with them. So maybe they were just trying to convince them.
They're going to the gas station to get gas.
One thing about this, Eliana, I meant to bring this up earlier. We've seen crazy things like this happen, where they pull over and get gas right in the middle of a chase.
Wow.
Good for another 50 to 80 miles, and no.
Wow. What
this is
right?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can't call 12 people to come save me in a pursuit, and somehow these guys, they get their buddies to come out in a very coordinated effort on their bikes as well. And they're
no way.
They really are getting gas. How can this be possible? Well,
this is crazy.
They haven't paid for anything yet.
We've got the helicopters overhead. We've got the helicopters
look,
overhead.
Look. One of the guys that showed up is swiping his card for him.
So the friend is going to pay, and they're going to try to get as much gas as they can before the units pull up. But again, there were no units here.
It
was just the helicopters. So the helicopters are now
insane.
coordinating the response here from the ground units to try to get some patrol units to the Chevron gas station to detain these guys. And now they're not only going to be focusing on the two original individuals, they're also going to want to detain all of the guys that came
I need one right now.
But you can see the guy on the white bike already fueled up, and now we've got the rider there in the blue.
This is crazy.
Who is, on the blue bike, rather, who is also fueling up. But I'm going to wind out the shot just a bit. I want to see if we see some units come into the frame, but for now, we don't see any. We're right at Imperial Avenue, and
more bikers showed up.
They're doing a wheelie, showing off for the camera.
Took them to the gas station. Now they have bought them gas.
On the white bike, he was just shaking his bike. So that's kind of what I was telling you earlier.
This chase was probably close to being over.
More gas in there.
Now they bought them some gas.
Moving the bike back and forth. He got some gas.
Can't make this shit up.
Blue got some gas as well, and I have a feeling we're going to be back on the road here. And
carrying off with 5 big gifts.
So they might be on the road for a
while. Hallelujah.
They have full tanks, and now we have somebody who's now complicit in this. There are more than a dozen people here on motorcycles, and
more
look,
than a
he's got
dozen
new
people
tank,
here,
you
and
know, he
almost
can do a
700
wheelie.
people here
This is one of the most
to
ridiculous
hear the
things,
hallelujah.
It's pretty ridiculous, but it's also very dangerous, and it changes the
The
whole
big red's
dynamic
out.
for the CHP
big red.
and for authorities here, because we're dealing with
Yikes.
dozens of people now.
And you wonder if they're thinking, oh, we have strength in numbers, we can certainly get away. But if anything,
Why is he?
now the
He's trying to
CHP
get
has
the
more
gas into it.
motorcycles to follow.
What's
All
going
they
on?
need to get is one of these 12 or 14 people who are down there on the ground,
Unbelievable.
and then hopefully have them sing and you know, try to get the other people in trouble as well. They're all complicit.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And now he's popping
any
wheelies.
one
He's
of
got
these
a
guys
full
can
tank
get
of gas.
detained, and the police will ask, well, who are your buddies? And I don't know how good of a friend they are, but I can guarantee you, when they're facing possible jail time, that they're going to give them their name, and that's when they'll be able
Will
to
they,
get them,
though?
even if they're
Will
not able
they?
to get them today. But it's really frustrating, more than anything, to see the efforts that the CHP and the LA County Sheriff's
Unreal.
Department has gone through.
My
in the
dinner
last
is
hour or
ice
so
cold
to try
by
to
now.
detain these guys.
I
And
don't
could
care because I
almost
want to be here
see
with you
the
guys.
light at the end of the tunnel, because I was thinking they're probably going to run out of gas.
Nothing more
and
important
this
than
is
being
gonna be
here hanging
over.
out with all of y'all.
The danger that they're posing to everyone on the roadway will have passed. But now that they've got full tanks and now they've got an army behind them, it really makes it more difficult for law enforcement.
I don't know what's going to happen
The
next.
debit card information at that gas station at a timestamp, and when who paid for that, and
It
how
was a
much they
burner
paid.
card.
But, you know, I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I have no doubt that eventually they'll catch these people. I'm just wondering how they're going to do it. But Eliana,
They're
this
not
just
going to
ramps
be
it
able
up for
to.
the CHP. They're just going to want to stop them more than ever. So while they were simply following two motorcycle riders, now they're going to be more
How about the
determined to
CHP?
bring this group
Alright,
to
Sheriff.
a halt here, because it's so dangerous for the other drivers.
Yeah, and I just got a note actually from one of my coworkers, and he made an excellent point. We saw the friend pay for the gas. Well, if he used his own personal card, now they have his name. So
sure.
the officers are going to be able to go back to that Chevron gas station and get the
They have
information of the
completely
person
lost
who,
control of the
at least paid
situation,
for the
guys.
gas. So even if these guys are able to somehow avoid
Hey,
the
you
authorities
guys
and
are
get
my
away,
family. I'm
they
here
can
with
simply go
you.
back to that gas
Something
station,
like this
they're
has
off on
happened.
their
We're
zero and
together.
success and
We're
get the
hanging.
credit card information for the
Nothing
person
else
who
is
paid.
more important.
Of course, we're talking about people who clearly aren't thinking this through. They're
It's
just
pretty
out
crazy.
for this joyride, having fun.
Hit the like
thinking
if
this
you've
is
ever seen a
hilarious,
chase
and
like
they're
this
causing
one.
a great
Hit the like
danger
if
to
you've
people out
never
there in
seen
the
a chase
community.
like this one.
Showing off.
Just
They're
hit the
showing
like,
off.
guys.
And I
Come on.
really believe they know they're going to get caught eventually.
Ah,
And they're just having fun.
so
Yeah, I just really think that. Or
crazy.
he wouldn't be doing this. They'd be trying to get away. They know.
Thank you to everybody who's
They know.
been
It's
kind
just
enough
really
to send
dangerous
over
for
some
other
money.
And it's so frustrating, Eliana,
Keeping the
using
dream
resources,
alive.
using the officers to try to chase them, the airships
Obviously,
overhead,
Mensa
our resources. It's
members.
just a waste of time. And I think that's what's so ridiculous to me, watching this in real time and how much this has grown. How many people are we talking about now? Could you widen up just a little bit?
Just widen her
Right
out.
now, I'm going to put it at about a dozen, but I think it's growing.
There's a cruiser. Like 18. Is that
18.
what you
I counted at
Yeah.
about 18.
Did you? Oh my gosh, yeah, it's really
18.
incredible. And as you said, just a waste of resources. When you think about all that law enforcement in the LA area has gone through in the last week with our fires, being on tactical alert this entire time, which means they don't get to go home to their
Look at
families.
this.
They have to stay on shift for very
Look
long
at
shifts.
this.
And when they do get to go home, it's very
Ridiculous.
short periods of rest before they're back out on the front lines of the fires. So it's really upsetting to know that people would just waste valuable resources like that and waste their time knowing
Oh, we got a guy over
everything
here
that our
shooting some
community is
footage.
going through.
That'll
But
come in handy for pressing
until
charges.
somebody falls off a bike and gets hurt, I don't think these guys are going to stop. I think they're just going to keep going for as
Yeah.
long as they can.
They are
And now
not
that the
going to
two
stop.
guys that
Can't
kicked
stop,
this
won't
off
stop.
have full tanks. Who knows how long we might be following.
All right, we're going to let you get some information. Stay with your picture right here. Incredible, but now it's all coming clear for me. I understand why they tried to pit a CHP officer, because there's just no logical thought to this. This is insane.
There is no thought as we approach here. They're on Imperial Highway. This is around the 110 and 105 interchange. They've been mostly,
What's up, John?
because they've been split on the streets and on the
They're
freeway.
splitting
Coming
now.
back on the streets, they met up with other bikers. It started with two.
Oh my God,
people
this has
wanted
just
to
turned into
reckless
now.
driving
It's
on
turned into a
dirt
complete
bikes in the
crime
East LA
spree.
area. That happened around 3:53
It's just going
in the
out of
afternoon.
hand.
And now we're overhead. Eliana, give us your exact
I
location.
believe they
We
say it's
understand
out
they've
of
made their way
pocket.
over to like the 110, 105 split.
Yeah, and that's exactly where they're at. They're still on Imperial Highway, which runs parallel to the 105. It kind of interwinds with the 105, but for the most part, it runs on the north side of the 105 through here.
Pretty much.
We're approaching Denver Avenue, so we are in South Los Angeles. We're not far from the 10 freeway. I widen out the shot. There's the
turned into this gauge.
The major intersection coming up is going to be Hoover, and they continue to do wheelies up and down Imperial Highway here. And it's just dangerous because they could very easily fall.
If you want to send over a chase video for We Got a Chase, it's CB show email, but somebody, I'll guarantee one of these mods will drop it for you, Sassy. CB show email at Gmail. Somebody will drop it.
They've got full tanks, and they've got a little army here on Imperial Highway in the South Los Angeles area.
Eliana, if they
little army
on Imperial Highway, they're going to hit LAX eventually.
I'll heat it back up. Don't you worry. Meatballs always taste great reheated.
From only the air.
It will complicate things because
like
then
cockroaches.
Flight restrictions with LAX, and even for the police ships, it can be a problem. Sometimes the LAX controller, even though they want to allow them in, they can't. Sometimes they have too many planes landing or taking off, and it's just simply impossible. So that is a time when it might be possible for them to get out of the sight of the law enforcement airship and get away. We've seen a number of pursuits as of late where people will go to LAX.
That's what I was thinking too, Keith. One of those vanilla cards.
Now, there's a lot of cameras in those parking structures, and eventually they could figure out where the person went.
Cody,
but at least
glad to be here.
It is an opportunity for them to get away.
Well, we asked what the plan is, and it looks like they're stopped here, and it looks like they were talking. They might be trying to come up with a plan.
Tam, how are you? I'll tell Creature said hello.
Earlier, Kathy, just about they're just out.
Peter Moore.
Some of them were recording.
Thank you, Peter.
Record with their cell phones.
That's late over there for Peter.
Somewhere, and then now they're back out. We want to remind our viewers you're watching the NBC4 News at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
We're following this chase, and it initially involved 2 dirt bikes wanted for reckless.
And now it just involves a bunch of dirt bags.
Just before 4 p.m., we've been on the chase since about 4:15, and within the last 20 minutes, we saw those 2 riders join up with about 16 other.
This is epic. This is like nothing we've ever seen before.
Out there, we're now in the South LA area on Imperial Highway, heading towards the LAX area.
And we were concerned about
definitely a
gas
gang
and how long
mentality
they could go,
here.
And then, sure enough, they drove into a gas station and filled up. We actually saw one of the new riders that joined them slide a card.
Oh, what a great game that was.
So they're off again. They're doing wheelies. They are circling in and out of
Look
traffic.
At this.
So far, staying together. And Ileana, the problem is now
not only do we get a police chase, we get an amazing
spike strip them.
show as well.
Now we don't know which direction they're going. They're not on a freeway to shut down a freeway. So I'm wondering, have you heard what the plan is besides following them in the airship?
So my pilot, James Pollard, was pointing out that there
Jim
was
Pollard, everybody.
in the area where we just were a second ago. But
and
again,
these don't have headlights, so
they can't pit them. I mean, there's force in
numbers. That.
They want to pit a motorcycle anyway, but they can't pit them. They can't spike them. They're obviously not going to run out of gas.
They do whatever they want
really
here
all
on the streets.
They can do is continue to follow them. And of course, the helicopter overhead can make announcements to them so they could hear them. They could tell them to pull over.
Yes,
but,
that'll do it. That's the one thing they didn't think of.
They've had plenty of opportunities to pull over this entire time. We've been on this for like
from the chopper. They can be like, "Hey, pull over."
When
pull over.
First tossed to me, I was saying, "Hey, it's
thank you, young men."
Who would have thought it would have ended up being 18 motorcycles on this pursuit?
18 motorcycles.
But the 2 original guys, they're right there next to each other.
Tiff, how are ya?
Blue bikes. And,
I saw that McDonald's.
Now surrounded by their friends as they approach Western at Imperial.
It's interesting. I was just about to ask you, where were the initial 2? I got lost.
Okie, hope your head's doing
this
better.
Giant crowd here of motorcyclists. One thing to point out, Eliana, these are not street legal at all. CHP stressing that they're not typically registered like normal vehicles. So even if they were to dump the bikes, they wouldn't necessarily be able to find a home address or anything of that nature.
It's very
registered to these
very
bikes.
animated.
But that's what's so frustrating here. The CHP officer that we spoke with earlier, Eliana, just talking about how frustrating this is to watch, to not be able to bring this to a stop. And certainly that was when there was 2. Now there's potentially, a dozen and a half. This is
Baker's
wild.
dozen.
Makes you wonder if they were all together at some point earlier today, street racing or doing whatever, and then split up and then got back together, because the initial two, the one that was on the white bike, I believe that's him, there in the center of the screen, was on the phone all constant.
Texting and calling
crazy.
the entire time. Yes.
Yeah, he was on the phone for a long time when he was on the freeway, and of course.
Do you think he was calling these guys, or these guys just
happened
happened to see them on television and decided to join them?
Coordinate this response from his
That's what I'm
group of
wondering.
friends to come out here to the South LA area with their off-road vehicles.
Really, Judge?
As you said, none of them
That's
street
crazy.
legal, and as far as I can tell, most of them aren't wearing helmets. Some of them are, thank goodness, and so if they were to fall, it might help a little bit.
They might get a boo-boo if they fall.
A fall at these speeds would
That's
still,
right. Damn
seriously
these
injure
kids.
someone, if not killed someone, depending on the circumstances. But the two original guys, they're still there, buddies, right next to each other. Probably can't believe that they were able to get their friends to come out here in such
couple phone
numbers.
calls.
And now the police
meddling kids, yes.
because again, they're not trailing
How
them
dare
from
they?
behind. It's really impossible at this point.
Yeah, and it's really just a spectacle at this point. We wanted to let our viewers know about it because it does pose a danger. They're being reckless, and other drivers are out on the road. But at this point, they're just showing off, and the CHP
showing off and showing out.
Continue to follow them, so there will be an outcome here. We will let you know, but we
There
have
will
other
be an
important stories that we need to cover today.
Okay, hold on.
Our other top story.
Bring that down for a second. Man. Say it ain't so, guys. Say it ain't so. Got this one from KTLA. No. I'm hoping it's live. It might not be. I'm not that cool or that young. I could break a hip. I could do anything. Anything
Sandra,
bad.
You're calling it just right, because we're hearing now my pilot telling me that the motorcycle officers are coming in behind the group.
Oh my God! Look at this.
Motorcycles, from what my pilot Anton is telling me, are approaching from behind. So we'll
This
see
is
what they
wild, dudes.
The problem is there's so many of them now. There's so many motorcycles and off-road vehicles here that those motor officers may have
odds.
I can't see.
Good question.
I can't see those
0.0.
to a wide shot. I don't want to lose the lead cars or the lead motorcycles, but
that's what I thought. This is a live feed. Yeah, we're live.
Okay, they're there, but I don't want to lose the two initial suspects here in the pursuit.
Somebody's bound to lay it down, right?
That being said, we are getting
bound to lay it down
now, and we have.
Thank you, guys.
To contend with if they stay on Imperial Highway. So we'll see what happens if those motor units come up and try to do something. There we go. So here's
all right. So bike on bike action.
Here goes 5.
What's going to happen now?
So we got
how are we going to do this?
Car there. So
kick and punch them off the bikes.
Come back in and find the initial two. Here they are. They're kind of right in the middle of the pack.
I like to call it windswept as well.
What they try to do now the riders are aware.
I wish it would go straight. It's just not.
Probably see those motor officers there, which are probably making them really worried now. Because
he's got a bad gambling habit.
Equal access to wherever they go.
He must be making.
Get away so easy.
He must have a lot of people betting on him or something. Nah, that's not Stu. Stu is with Fox. Foxy. They're everywhere. I can't believe this, man.
Let's see. It looks like CHP unit here, and the motors. I'm not sure if there's. It looks like, yeah, they're CHP.
Yeah, purple is a very popular bike color.
They're all CHP. Right turn.
Right turn, Clyde. The Kappas is on them. What are they going to do? I really don't know what the cops are going to do. This is going to be an interesting situation. Tase them off the bikes. Yeah, everybody. I mean, I'm sure a lot of assets have been put away for that kind of stuff. I'm really surprised that they're even covering this right now. So I think we're really gotten lucky. Is that it? Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I can't. I can only imagine what we're going to do next. I hope so. Our numbers have been this past month, but it's January. January is always typically a bad month for analytics.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, those poor people walking across the street didn't know what was coming. You know, they
I think we all are.
Prairie. Unfortunately, we cannot
go
invested,
into
yes. that area because that's in the direct path of the planes coming into LAX. So we're going to have to watch them from a distance here. The two that I have on the screen here, let's see, the one that just put on the hoodie, I believe, is the second one that joined in the pursuit. This is the first suspect that was initially wanted for the assault on the officer. He's leaked.
Yeah, the tiny blue bike.
But they are pulling away from us, and unfortunately, we have to stay over the 105 freeway.
Oh no!
Air traffic, but
oh no!
Wider shot. We'll go away from the lead.
They're going towards it.
Are the CHP 6 motors and at least one unit there in trail. All CHP officers. They're and you can see what they're doing. They're
analytically speaking.
Cars up Inglewood Boulevard here, and they're going to continue. Officers are going to follow.
I don't have any extra way.
Continue, and we'll see if they go.
But to
they're going to go east or west here on one of the east-west streets.
Be here and try and hang out with you guys. Yeah, no, I would never do that. There's two things I don't want to do: complain or talk money or religion or politics. None of those things.
Yeah.
Any tips? No. I'm going to say gargle with hot salt water. Get your mom to make you up some hot salt water. That's what I typically do. Yeah. Not too hot, but good and warm. Knowing that, gargle with it. Those cops and it tends to help. With us no matter where we go. If we make a U-turn, Mikey's medical tip of the day. If we go on a sidewalk, they can go on a sidewalk. If they go, if we go in an alleyway, they can go in an alleyway. If we decide to go cut through a park, they can cut through the park. Yeah, so that's the intimidation factor that these units, these motor officers can say, basically. Where am I located? I am located in beautiful North Carolina. The South. Initially, we were in the pursuit. I know you thought this accent was Australian, but it's not. It's not. Pea salad. I have a strong stance against pea salad. Somebody's going to get hit. One of these motorists are going to be like, F these guys and run one over. And this is, I hate that. I'm not doing that. Who's handsome? Easy does it. Everybody's got the same thing with the no.
Yeah, and here we are at Manchester. Heavy traffic there. Red lights, and look at they're going right up into those.
That's
cars.
them live on Instagram.
Officers are pulling in there so that they can get through, but they are right on their tail. So they realize, hey,
enjoy.
Officers on their motorcycles can keep.
You thought they're gonna have a creek frame there in a minute. Carol. And we're gonna have to jump. Carol, 41 big months.
This is an OG call.
Carol, definitely an OG. Much appreciated. Live on the Insta. This is ridiculous. Honey, some honey and tea. Is this Marshawn Lynch? Maybe. Lynch Beast Mode JR or Junior. I love Marshawn Lynch. As a huge Raiders fan, I have utmost respect for the man. He did get arrested one time, but that's all right. It happens to most of us.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Go back the other way. Yeah, sorry, guys.
He's trying to get him to turn. Don't do it. Don't do it. Turn the other way. Way to try and talk him through it. Good to see you, Carol.
Reverse course.
Thank you, Carol. Good to see you.
We'll go reverse course.
We're going to end up not being able to chase them. By the way, anyone's wondering, that little live thing right there is from Instagram, from one of the, I'm guessing the lead biker guy. I don't know. Or maybe one of the gang. Who knows? Unfortunately, yeah, it looks like it. We're not going to be able to hold on. Take care, Howard. Make sure you hit that like before you leave. Hey, where have you been? I was about to start looking for you, bud. This has been, if I will say this, I'm pretty sure they're going to get away.
He got a bicycle. He got a bicycle from somebody who.
I'm just saying. I could be wrong. Thank you, OG Sean White. But I think they're going to get away. Go enjoy your dinner. I'm going to have my dinner warmed up in the old microwave. Maybe the air fryer. Who knows? Yep. Not looking good. Yeah, I figured it was a club. What did you do? Come over here, Cody? I figured it was like a biker. Not bikers. These guys aren't bikers. These guys are. I know. I have not seen the king or the queen in quite a while. It's discouraging, to say the least. Taco Pizza, say it ain't so. You're welcome. All right, kids.
Okay. All right.
It looks like, unfortunately, we're going to have to say au revoir. Au revoir. Which also means goodbye, in case anyone was wondering. Before we leave, though, make sure you guys do us a huge favor. Hit the like, subscribe if you hadn't. If you enjoy police chases and you enjoy an amazing community, I would appreciate you joining. Would you? We'd love it. We love it. And, of course, we got to thank all these nice people who are nice enough, especially you guys who put a little something extra in the coffer today. That deserves. Eyes on him, baby. You will respect his authority. No. Far from it. How dare you tell us that? How dare you? Well, we're going to wrap it up, kids. It's been another fun one. It's been great. It's been awesome. It's been great and awesome. It was. Love Mayor. Great while it last. Love you guys. Need you to think along with me. Terminator, Cooper, Isle, Amy, J Metal, a big red from the Mayor Rabbit, Boss, Gary, Sweet Tea, Lambo the Giver, Hassett, good to see you again, Jim, do well, Boss, Wallers, Kiernoff with the gifts, Big Red Rabbit from the Mayor of the Rabbitville, Peter, and of course, OG Sean White. You guys, hang in there. If anything else pops off, we'll jump to it. Until then, stay safe, stay hard, and stay tuned. Would you please? I'm Mike the Legend. You're not. Signing off. Bye for now.
Just do what I tell you.
Scissor me, Daddy! Hit him with the hide! So let's get funky like a monkey. Bullshit! Bullshit! Bullshit!